Joan Elise is going to spawn him, so they're going to try to spray it out. But there's going to be a counter to come through, and a Hunter's Fury to come out, and it's still going to be Brax that gets the kill. No more tags, but it's still map advantage, or should I say map control for T1 as they make it into the site and go for the plant. While the retake is attempted, they still have the hat to come out too. They are now spotted towards U-Haul. Brax is going to try to press forward, but Rocket slowly is going to even things up. But it's still map advantage. What do they have right now? They have the Allen drone from Rocket inside U. They could still use that. They have the powerful operator to go for the trade, and it works out. The advantage swings back in favor of FaZe. Baby Bay gets another one and goes for another kill. What is going on with this man?
He's feeling it.
Gonna try to press forward, but Rocket slowly is gonna even things up. And
saw in map 1. It's almost verbatim. Baby Bay popping off early on, and even though Baby Bay still continued with a very strong stat line, it wasn't anything like this. This is actually a little bit of a step above. One, they're now up 5-0, so they're winning by even more of a margin than they were before. And two, Baby Bay has 12 kills. 12 and 3 in 5 rounds. That's an absurd stat line currently, and it's making things quite difficult for T1. Yet again, Baby Bay 2 is going to be that entry-killing machine. It wasn't anything like this. All of those this is actually a little bit of a step above here. One, they're now up 5-0. We talked about how well they played when they played this map, and they're going to have to unlock some inner potential, and that might be exactly what they need. Dazed and Braxed both combine and give themselves a 5-on-3, and the spike will go down on the A site.
So the other members of FaZe Clan trying to do a little bit of Baby Bay, but it doesn't pay off for them. So that opens up the site. They are able to get the plant. Baby Bay still alive though. And with this rotation, you still have the paint shells. A big flame from Corey, but that's only for a 1 kill as he's traded off by Spider. Baby Bay still, as he's feeling himself, he doesn't care. He's gonna try to go for this. Spider is so far his kryptonite. He's been the one that's able to stop the reign of Baby Bay. That's 3 kills in this matchup, on this map actually. Spider is able to win versus Baby Bay. So I think now you're gonna have to try to have that matchup for T1. Let's figure out where Baby Bay is playing now. Still probably with the operator and nullify his positioning, and I think that would probably be one of the keys to try to bring T1 back into this one.
Just looking back at the stats here for T1, the attacking side has always been their bread and butter. In fact, it looks like they haven't lost an attacking side half in the last couple of matches they've played through in the closed qualifiers for both UMG and Nerd Street Gamers. Marv waiting around the corner. Here's that showstopper pop. But it's Brax who's on the site, who's proving to be a nuisance. 3-on-2, and again, the A site's been lost.
Spike planted.
FaZe Clan's sprint at the start of this half may have ended already as T1 looks to grab another round. There's the showstopper being pulled from Corey. Quick flick back with the rocket, dodges the shot from Dazed. And now Corey ends up on top of the APC. Dart not going to connect onto Corey, who's now going to change positions, looking for the remaining targets. And sticks the spike to at least get it halfway. Goes for the pull-off, and it's a double peek. Wouldn't have made a difference which direction he looks. T1 win 2 in a row, and they still have a chance to take that lead at half. They're going to have to win them all.
Yep.
I mean, that is crazy. Again, like Cloud9, Immortals, Dignitas, Sentinels, Equinox, even the game against Complexity. On the attacking side, they always won the half. Never tied. Never came below that line.
So it's an indication of how things are kind of changing a little bit here in this matchup. They really start to step up for T1. And Skadoodle, again, he's the first one that gets nullified by Baby Bay, but it's still going to be Spider that is that silver lining for the team. To be able to get that opening, and you saw how explosive that was, and there you go, Spider another opening, 2 kills, including Baby Bay on top of that. Yes, of course, FaZe is on an eco. But who cares? As T1, you don't care if they're on guns, no guns, knives. You just want to bring this game back in your favor. So to be able to have somebody like Spider continue to get these openings and be crisp on his shots. And speaking of crisp, that's one way to answer. But at least to get a spike plant for T1. And you'll still have FaZe Clan looking to upgrade for some weapons. And with that last kill that just happened from Brax, I think these last two players will attempt to save. Okay, maybe not. Marv gets a kill. He gets another one as he drops inside the window. They're looking for the ult. Did he spot the last one? It's going to be Brax. He does get the wallbang, but the defuse is coming through, and they actually get it. Zachary gets the full defuse. Cannot get the kill. Finally, he does for Brax, but man, on an eco that came through for FaZe Clan, it was still a victory in the end. I spoke too soon. I jinxed it. Caster's curse.
Well, what ends up happening is T1 now have, at best, a tie score at half if they can somehow find a way to close things out. But with the way this team has been playing, I'm not sure how that's possible. Baby Bay cooled off a little bit the last few rounds, but still sitting at an impressive 13-6 as we move into round number 9. And it looks like we have a pause coming in. Skadoodle's not moving. So they got it in just in the nick of time. I'm going to assume this is technical in nature. He's back in the game. He's swinging his knife, but not really sure what exactly is going on. So we'll get that fixed in a moment. The pause came through literally as the blue barriers go down, but they can't walk through them. So in case you're thinking they can like roam the map right now, that's not possible.
So I'll take that time as I was trying to figure out. It seems as though maybe it's Daze that has the issue because he hasn't bought yet. But on that previous round before the action happened and the eco came in for FaZe Clan, I was going to say like the way that T1, the previous round, was able to execute into the A side, it was off Spider's revenge kill onto Baby Bay, but also as soon as he died, you saw how immediate the trade came in from short A. So T1 did a very good job to set up a push where they could go for these immediate trades and eventually take over that site. He leaving it on a 2 versus 1, losing players in the process on a pulse plan situation. If you still have that one-man advantage in the end, you've had made a successful attempt, a successful push, sorry, into your spike plant. So T1, they needed to get that 2 in a row, but FaZe Corey inside that hookah, his playground to be able to answer back onto Spider. And for me, when I thought that it was over after those 2 guns that were picked up with a spike plant and a dark cover that came out towards hookah, Marv was able to open it up on his own and turn around over for FaZe. I don't think it should have been a round that T1 should have lost after the post plant.
Still waiting on a resolution for the technical issue, so we'll be jumping into things in just a second. As soon as Dazed fixes his computer, you know how boomers are. They just which wires which? Where does this go?
Hey man, I know which wires
plug
which.
in his floppy drive right now.
I've been playing a lot of Among Us. I know how to cross the wires.
So we'll be jumping into that action shortly. I do want to say this. If this follows the pattern of the last map, what we'll notice in general is T1 adjust to the pace that FaZe is setting early on and try and equalize. So if this continues in similar fashion, we should have a very close game, even though right now it doesn't look like that's likely.
Well, yeah. The thing is for me is, how do you really stop the pacing of Baby Bay when you still kind of have to guess which areas he's rushing as when he doesn't have that operator, right? If they get into a situation here where FaZe is going to lose a round, they're going to be on a mixed buy or some sort of an eco, Baby Bay, which way is he going to go? And from the way that he's shooting, I wouldn't be surprised if he's got a Blade Storm into the next round if they lose and have to go on an eco. So the amount of times that he ran down towards long B, he got a 4K out of that one. Then down towards the hookah side, he was able to get to some big rounds as well. I don't know how the hell you stop this guy. Spider is the only solution, but you can only guess where Baby Bay is going, like, onto 4 different areas. So you have 25% of chances to be right and to put Spider at the right spot to try to kill him. So I think now try to utilize those cameras in the beginning too, right? The trap wires at the front to try to prevent those early pushes, put the cameras on different extremities, and then have somebody like Spider try to work that control. When I said that they were successful and how it was different on T1 on their attacker side was, for example, the combination that they had of clearing out the showers so that any type of aggressive opping side that came in from their opponents on that end was fully nullified, and that allowed them to go for that explosive push into the A side. But this round, it seems to be B.
It's always awkward when you have a 1-second pause and then play resumes because you don't see the walls fall. It's just like the round just starts. But here we go. The Owl drones will pass each other. A little bit of drone racing over on the site. Skadoodle, who's currently off to a rough start in the series and this map more specifically, leading off the push for T1. A target right to the left. Oh, Raucus has him right where he wants him. Oh, it got a little scary there. For a second, there was an opportunity, but Raucus plays that one patiently, has to double back on the initial damage dealt. And that is a flawless round win from FaZe, where they just stomped out T1.
The kills came fast as the barriers went down pretty much when they tried to enter the site. Not clearing your corners, unfortunately, allowing Zachary to get a 3K on top of that, surprising your opponents. That's not a good look there for that push. And I thought that it was going to be with them splitting toward
Hello everyone,
they had the Hunter
and Chef
Fury
Mom
ready for days.
Welcome to another episode of eSports.
Someone like Days or someone like Gangsta really likes to go out towards that B side
video wherein I shared USports 2 with Pumpkin.
And just launched the Hunter Fury inside elbow.
Don't worry, I'll be sharing down below yung link para mapanood.
Surprise your opponent.
At dahil
but instead they went for the L zones. They give a chance for FaZe look there for really just set up on any type of push that they had, and again, not clearing your angles is probably the detriment of that round.
Well, yet again, you see the aggression from FaZe. You've already got 2 players pushed through from B, but T1's on the A side, or at least trying to take control of it. Now, Baby Bay getting aggressive with that up in showers, picks off Spider. We talked about how important Spider can be for this T1 roster. Baby Bay likely wanted to play with that smoke, but realizes after the neural theft comes through, it's an illogical decision. Aldrone will put a dart into the planter, giving away his position. And, oh, okay. That's the planter going down. The nade came out. It was a fade away from Corey. I think he threw the nade, and they started to rotate, expecting that they might try to take Portal. You can see them actually backing off the play. But the nade gets the kill on the spike planter. They now have to recommit to that site. Brax is right around the corner, takes a shot through the wall from Baby Bay. He's down to 57 HP. This man just does not miss currently. Now that's going to be difficult because he's low on health. Brax is sneaking away inside the showers, tries to peek back, and it all falls down to the 1v1. It's going to be Corey versus Dazed. Another nade coming out from Corey as the paint shells pop. Tapping the spike, knows exactly where Dazed is going to be. FaZe continue here. And that's going to be an 8th round for them on the defense.
I think just from watching how Corey is currently playing, how Baby Bay is currently playing, like you now see that potential that FaZe kind of saw when they picked up this roster. And it's like, man, you guys are starting to make me believe on the potential as well and how dominant they could be once you give them that time. And that 1 versus Days wasn't easy there for Corey either. I mean, Days, we didn't talk about him a lot, but on that previous map on Ascent, he was able to drop 200 ADR for the team. So he's been a very big aspect for T1 to try to get these entries, and you wouldn't want anybody else right now is to try to clutch that 1 versus 1. So Corey did a tremendous effort to win that. The wall bangs, of course, is continuous. That seems so confident. It's such a confident playstyle from FaZe Clan is what I'm trying to get to, because he had 2 wall bangs from Baby Bay, and then you had wall bangs that came through from Corey to get a couple of kills as well on that pulse plant for FaZe's retake. So I just love what I'm seeing right now.
Raucus. He's in the back hall as T1's gained site control. It's a 5-on-5. Despite the spike going down, it's full forces for both sides. Showstopper available for both. Corey uses his first, and Daze gets taken out in the corner. Corey very low on HP. Raucus in the backside of sight from Spider, but Raucus is there. It's a back and forth, ping-ponging around, but now it's Raucus all alone. And as he goes for the recon dart peek, Brax is there with the punish. A 3rd round for T1.
Last round
An awkward one, but it counts.
Mm-hmm. And that's where you just wanted to change it right away, right? We've talked about it multiple times that it's the slow and steady race for T1. Just go for the explosion now towards that B site. Paid off in their favor. And now they really had the better angles, actually, to hold it back. Yes, of course, they lost 1 player from Corey's Showstopper towards Hookah, but you still had good split out positionings towards the back of the site. where T1 just caught rotations that's very hard to take back, actually, on B site.
Get out of my way.
On a map like Bind. So a stack towards B is something common that we see. 3 players on a defense. And being able to open that up and not allow the rest of FaZe Clan to rotate from A was definitely well played for T1. So with this last round that they have, though, I think it's an op that I saw that was picked up by Skadoodle in that previous round. I don't know if it was left behind by Baby Bay, but with the style that FaZe has, maybe that could be the answer too. If you have Baby Bay trying to push aggressively, try to find him with the operator, use that long range against him. But if Baby Bay himself has an op, that's where it gets difficult. That said, though, they are trying to work back towards the A side. They do have the paranoia if they want to throw that into the lamps so they could try to push up towards the A site. They don't really have any other ultimates to try to get it in because they depleted on that previous round. While on the other end, though, for FaZe, they have their Hunter's Fury that they could play with Raucus on a rotation from spawn side. There it comes.
Well, there's that ult coming out from Raucus. Oh, he splits the middle of the 2 targets he tagged initially. Had a chance to find a couple of kills there. Zachary, though, will be the first one to strike. Skadoodle with a nice spin back from the op, but it's all coming up FaZe as Marv gets the final one on the round. 9-3 is your halftime score.
Switching sides.
That's one of the worst halves we've seen from T1 in some time on this map. As we look at the closed qualifiers, again, we mention it, they never once lost the attacking half. So, disappointing to say the least. Now, I think I do know why. There is a deviation on the scoreboard, and in general, the results from what we expected. Typically, Twitch chat would be funneling their energy with copy pastas towards the teams and players of their choice. I'm not seeing any spam this blaze for FaZe. I definitely haven't seen one damn noodle for Skadoodle. I'm disappointed, Twitch chat. At least you had eggs earlier. Eggs were neutral. It's an egg. Got nothing now. I need to see something, Twitch chat. You're letting me down. 9-3. T1 desperately need to pick up this pistol round, or it's curtains for them. That said, they still qualify for the event, so it's not the end of the world, but they would love to have that higher seed.
And at this point, it just continues. Pushing forward is Baby Bay. He opens up B side, but you saw that double push teleporter. And now they just take control of Hookah back for the defender side. Camera is up, Spike is planted inside Tunacan, but it's still T1 that has the upper hand in terms of manpower on this retake. Spider the first to jump in to try to bait out the shots because he's low on HP. Well, the HP doesn't matter when you're shooting like that. Back on the defuse, T1 stays alive, and, you know, the eggs you were talking about here, Bach, it was at a point where it was about to get boiled. Things were getting hot here for T1, and they're trying to lower down that pressure so that they could come back into this game, and the pistol round that they had is a great way to start.
T1 trying to wake up. It's an early game. Trying to just, like, you know, get the sleepies out of their eyes.
Oh, shake off the early morning.
Yeah, I mean, FaZe, it seems like they never went to sleep. They've been awake the whole time. They've been pounding G Fuel all morning long to get themselves prepared for this, especially Baby Bay. I'm going to need that man's sensitivity, his resolution, his mouse pad, keyboard, diet, exercise routine, code, monitor. I need all of it. Desk. I need to know the square footage of his office. What direction does his PC face? Is that important? Maybe it is. Who knows?
That's Feng Shui.
FaZe.
That's super important.
Yeah. FaZe trying to get into Hookah. They're going to have to fight with Brax, who's waiting around the corner, ready to be judge, jury, and executioner as they try to make their way through. Zachary will actually be the first one to strike. There's the shotgun coming through. Brax is only going to get 2 as T1 is now at a player disadvantage. The pistols are working out well for FaZe. This is disastrous for T1.
Yeah, it didn't look too well for FaZe to start, though. Brax was at. They still get the advantage of moving into the site planning and having 3-on-2, but they have 2 players that are very low on HP. Thankfully, though, for T1, they don't have much utilities or weaponry to work with, and the one that had the weapon just died from the hands of Marv. Skadoodle only with the ghost, trying to tap away. Baby Bay was so low, just one little tap. But Baby Bay was able to get the kill with the Spectres. So we turn it around. We get an eco for FaZe onto T1. T1 back themselves, back against the wall, back where they have to go with pistols themselves. I wouldn't be surprised if you go for a force buy here.
They're a little bit slow if they're going to do it. I mean, you can see AZK's bought armor, but yeah, there's some expenditures coming out. Sheriffs, but no armor. And with Skadoodle having a little bit of money, they're actually going to fall back a little bit and try and stack that up for an alt buy later. We'll see if they can hit their shots here. They go for a triple push on short. The boombot comes out, and Corey's just able to capitalize. That's 3 kills for Corey. A little bit of jiggle at the end there.
That's all I'm hearing and seeing there. Just and he just drive-bys 3 people.
The bot was the entry fragger. He was the follow-up. As the entry bot went down, he just cleans up. FaZe Clan make a quick round out of T1. Skadoodle does have the op. This is what we were talking about. But again, it's an attacking side op. Baby Bay also has the ult available, so I wouldn't be surprised to see Baby Bay try and charge somewhere with that Spectre and just fly in with the knives out.
I could see it. Blade Storm, try to go long range with the knives at the showers, and once he gets close enough, right clicks, or Spectre on mid-range.
I think I
be him
misspoke.
versus Spider.
I think I said misspoke because of the colors on the scoreboard. That's my mistake.
Yeah.
For Skadoodle, he is on the defense. Don't want to confuse people any more than I'm already confused. But it's actually Baby Bay to pop that ult and fly into the site, trying to get into that B site, trying to push up aggressively. Catching one off guard, and Braxu gets diced apart through his cyber cage, so that digital wall can't slow down the knives. And it's a push that comes through successfully for FaZe T1. Again, short-handed on the defense, and good lord. Zachary is surgical with the Vandal. Baby Bay now wants the last kill on the round. Skadoodle says, well, at least I can try and prove who's the better Jet in the 1v1, kinda. Ends up tying Demarv. 12-4 FaZe Clan.
Match point.
Likely going to end things here as the buy coming through from T1 is going to be abysmal.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I was as confused as you with the scoreboard there, Buck. I had the idea that it was actually going to be the showers and long play from Baby Bay and from Brax, but it turned out to be Skadoodle and Zachary. Pretty much the same thing, but it was still the same result. You still had Baby Bay just being very aggressive towards the B side, and he gets the first kill onto Brax towards B instead. And, you know, just continuing to hold W on their end is going to be the strong point for FaZe Clan. Showstopper to look down. T1's trying to fight back with whatever they can. It's Guardians, it's Judges, it's a good luck. Definitely a good luck at this point. And Baby Bay, they open up towards the site. You already have from the shadows at spawn. What is Brax looking at? His death. Headshot it now by Marv. Marv continuing to push spawn. A second kill onto Spider, so a 5 versus 2. We're looking to seal the deal at a 13-4.
It's down to just one more player. It's Dazed, and he's trying to do what he can, but it's not going to be enough. FaZe Clan surprised us all with a big 2-0 win over top of T1. An impressive series from the side of FaZe. T1 disappointed, but again, both teams have already qualified for the NA regional event with Riot, so at least there's that. This was not a match that would necessarily see T1's hopes eliminated. It was just a seeding game. Chat, the game's over. Now we can kill all our spams, our copy pastas, and go back to talking about eggs, which is what truly matters.
So I wanted to say, you know, there was 2 victories there and there were 2 losses, all right? First and foremost, the obvious, obviously, is FaZe getting that victory and T1 taking the L. FaZe showed up, I'm not going to lie. So the GP and the parents, unfortunately, will still remain disappointed. Hopefully we can be right, though, when it comes to the next prediction. And then, of course, the other win was for you, Bach, with Twitch chat, because you just defeated our poor mods who just can't keep up with Spam This Noodle for Skadoodle. So 2 little battles taking place there, and, of course, 2 losers, 2 winners. There you go. Take your bow because you deserved it. Hey, check it out. You know, real talk. FaZe just played insane. You know, you guys were talking about just that big performance from Baby Bay. I was like, this isn't going to end well for T1. As soon as I, you know, obviously witnessed Baby Bay come out, is it right here? I think getting the gets to 3, eventually gets to 4, just shy of getting the 5 because Fighter said absolutely not. So with that being said, man, FaZe, they did everything right. You know, what are some of those things, Vinsilly? What are some of the things they did right other than just simply slaying out?
That's it. That's all you need. Sometimes, like I said, you could be as prepared into a matchup as you want, but if you're just feeling it, some strats could just go out the window and you're just going to be fragging out. I mean, When in French, I would like to say it's n'importe quoi. It's just bizarre in terms of a matchup that I've seen between these two teams. And I guess it's just because of the level of comfort that I saw that FAZE was able to execute today. And to see Baby Bay and Corey do what they're able to do, it was just so hard for T1 to win that in the end.
Yeah, Bach, I'm looking at the stats right now. Baby Bay, 21-11, just about double positive as he was on that earlier Ascent map. Obviously, that went the distance, 14-12. This time, it did not. In terms of first blood, something we talked about, they weren't able to capitalize. 5 first bloods for Baby Bay, most in the lobby once again. In fact, if you look at T1 stats, the only one who went positive was Brax. He was the only one that went positive on Ascent too. So, a big difference, right, in terms of overall stats when it comes to the overall slaying power to slaying ability. I don't know, man. There's really not a lot to say other than FAZE. I mean, they just pulled up today and they pulled off a big upset, I would say, because, I mean, T1 was heavily favored.
Yeah, I mean, Baby Bay had, what, like 52 total kills across the earliest op we got out of Skadoodle on the attacking side. Baby Bay played off Cat, and it just instantly killed him. And that was like, okay, well,
right, in terms of
there goes that.
Stats when it comes to the overall.
That's not going to work. But then we saw Ska try and dash down mid with an ult.
I don't know, man. Just really
Picked
not
off by a dash away and a quick scope from Baby Bay. The quick scope was actually the most impressive part of Baby Bay's performance. I was actually disappointed by his stationary op skills. I feel like when he held an angle and waited, that was when he was more likely to miss. It was when he just quick scoped and just put 2 and 2 together and he managed to make it work. That was what was really impressive, and that was what was brutal for T1. They could not seem to catch him off guard because he was just so fast on the reaction.
Yeah, that too, and how FAZE was able to control the economy for T1. As you said here, Bach, you know, Skadoodle didn't have many chances to get the operator, and it's normal when you have a scoreline of like a 5-0 or 6-1, where it's usually around that moment where your operator comes out for the first time. And if you're actually still going to lose that gun round, then you're going to have to save 1 or 2 more rounds until you bring that up again. And then once it starts getting like 9-1, 10-1 or whatever, you've brought out the omp only twice, max 3 times into the half, and you're in
on Ascent too, getting that quick scope all the way on heaven. Like it's just disgusting. Bottom line period though, you know, I know we're going to be doing an interview in just a second, but I have to ask, because it's one of the questions I'm going to be asking during the interview. Do you think the inconsistencies from before during the open qualifiers have now been kind of nullified or equaled out, if you will, based on the performances, not only yesterday versus Gingy, but also today?
Whew. No. And I'll explain why. I don't think that FAZE looked as good yesterday as they do today, which shows me that there still is a higher potential for where this is Gen G playing against T1. You know, we're talking about a matter of 1 or 2 rounds going a different way, and Gen G is in this position, not FAZE. So I'm not necessarily going to say that FAZE played poorly, but I still think that FAZE has to work out some of the kinks. So I think consistency is still going to be a problem for this team, especially because of their playstyle. I mean, if you watch those last 2 maps, their playstyle is literally just like holding W. You know, it's a lot of aggressive plays. It's Baby Bay feeling that confidence. When you're not hitting your shots, that's not going to work. So ultimately, if that's what they want to lean on, they're going to put too much pressure and too much emphasis on individual performance, and it's going to fall like a house of cards.
I think from T1's perspective too, like, or any other team in general at that level, at this level right now, is that when you have a player that continues to hold W like that, technically, he's not able to put 2 kills, 3 kills like he did. Even Corey, we saw a couple of rounds where he was able to drive by, or 1 round where he was able to drive by in that short A with that Spectre and get a 3 game himself. Technically, at that level, when you're only at 3 players there, even though it's pistols, you should be good enough to go the trade. So I think for on top of that, as much as we praise and we see how good it was for phase one,